It is 7:15. Ahmad, 43, Bishan, is sitting in his car on the CTE. Engine running. Not moving. 22 minutes. If he stopped working tomorrow, not by choice, by circumstances, he has calculated that his family survives 4 months, maybe 5. He earns 11,000 a month. He has been earning well for 12 years. He does not understand where it goes. Last night, he found out. 31,000 Singapore dollars a year, leaving his account on things he never consciously chose to keep. Things that made sense at 32 and have been clearing automatically ever since. 7 of them. The Singaporeans who stop buying them are not cutting back. They are making the only move that actually changes where they end up at 60. Ahmad owns a Toyota Camry. $168,000 in 2023. He remembers that number. He does not remember what is underneath it. Loan installment 1,540. Road tax 133. Insurance 75. Petrol at $3.40 per litre 300. Season parking 110. ERP 60. Servicing 100. Total $2,318 a month. Not the loan, the total, and then the number that never appears on any statement. Depreciation. Cars registered after February 2026 receive a PARF rebate of 5% at scrap, down from 50%. The rule changed this year. Ahmad's Camry returns him roughly $1,000 at end of life. He absorbs $167,000 in depreciation over 10 years. $14,000 a year. Happening silently. Every single day he owns it. His colleague Rachel takes the MRT from Tampines. $90 on an Easy Link card, $60 on Grab at weekends. $150 total. The difference? $2,168 a month. At 5%, the current blended yield on a Singapore S-REIT and bank portfolio, that difference invested for 15 years builds 560,000 Singapore dollars, 28,000 a year in passive income, tax-free, for life. Ahmad is not buying a car. He is buying the impossibility of early retirement. The money leaves in small amounts across 4 different statements. He never sees the full number in one place. The morning he sells the car, he will feel like he gave something up. 6 months later, that feeling will be gone. What replaces it is different. Most people look at that car calculation and think, that is the big one, the one that matters. They are wrong. For a specific group of Singaporeans in their late 40s and 50s, the next purchase on this list has destroyed more retirement savings than any car ever could, because it does the damage invisibly, for decades. Siti is 51, Vice Principal, Queenstown. 15 years ago, an agent she trusted sold her an investment-linked policy, $2,000 a month. It would grow, she was told, protection and investment in one product. Here is what actually happens inside an ILP. Every month, your premium buys units in a fund. Before those units are credited, the insurer deducts a mortality charge, the cost of your life cover. At 35, that charge is small. At 50, it is substantial. At 60, for many policies, it consumes more units than the fund generates. The investment runs backwards. MAS and the Life Insurance Association issued a formal warning this year. Agents were calling ILPs capital guaranteed. The phrase is now banned. FIDREC received 160 complaints about ILPs in 2025 alone. Siti asked for a projection at 51. The numbers showed her policy runs out of units at 64, before she planned to retire. $2,000 a month for 15 years, $360,000 paid in. Current surrender value, $112,000. The alternative was not complicated. A term policy until 65 at $380 a month, Same death benefit. The remaining 1,620 into Capitaland Ascenda's REIT at 5.5%, reinvested for 15 years, 540,000 Singapore dollars. She cannot get those 15 years back. What she can do tonight: call the insurer, request the surrender value in writing, speak to an independent advisor before the next premium clears. That call takes 12 minutes. Wei Ling is 47. Her daughter is 14, secondary 3. For 4 years, Wei Ling has paid MAPS tuition at $120 twice a week, English at $80 once a week, Science at $90 twice a week, Mandarin Saturday mornings at $60. Monthly bill, $1,340. Her daughter's last 3 MAPS positions in class: 4th, 7th, 4th. Science last semester, 88 out of 100. Singapore households spent 1.8 billion on private tuition in 2023. The average household, $104 a month. Wei Ling is spending 13 times that on a child already above the entry threshold for every course she wants to pursue. The research Wei Ling has never read. Tuition produces measurable improvement when there is a genuine gap between current performance and a target course requirement. When that gap does not exist, the return is close to zero. The grade does not move. The bill does. Wei Ling is not buying academic outcomes. She is buying anxiety relief, the fear that stopping equals falling. Her daughter has 3 years to A-levels, $1,340 a month at 5% over 3 years, 56,000 Singapore dollars. Enough to fund 3 years at NUS with money left over. Tonight, pull the last 3 report cards. Check the entry requirements for the target course. If performance is already above that threshold, remove 1 subject, track the result for 1 semester. The grades almost never fall. What falls is the monthly bill. Now the 4th thing. This is the one the industry will never explain. At 32, Michael, financial controller Ang Mo Kio, took out a whole life policy, $4,200 a year, sum assured $100,000. At 32, he had a 30-year mortgage, 2 infants, a wife who had stopped working. He needed large cover. The decision was correct. 17 years later, nothing about his life looks the same. Mortgage balance, $230,000, 11 years left. Children, 19 and 21, both independent. Wife, working for 8 years. CPF balance, $640,000. Net worth with his wife, over $1.2 million. Term insurance answers one question: who depends financially on me and for how long? At 32, the answer was large and long. At 49, it is not. A term policy to 65, 300,000 sum assured. Enough to clear the remaining mortgage entirely, $480 a year. His current whole life, $4,200. The difference, $3,720 a year. Into CPF special account top-ups at 4% guaranteed for 16 years to 65. $88,000 additional dollars at retirement, with full tax relief reducing his bill further every April. He is not cancelling insurance. He is replacing cover sized for a life he no longer lives with cover sized for the life he actually has. Monday. Call the insurer, request the surrender illustration and the break-even year in writing. If he has passed break-even, review with an independent advisor, not a tied agent. The 5th thing is the one with the most social pressure. Priya's 5-room HDB in Punggol was bought in 2013 for $680,000. Outstanding loan today, $200,000. Current valuation, $950,000. Her colleagues have moved to condos. Her sister bought in Serangoon last year. At every family gathering, Someone asks when Priya is upgrading. The HDB-to-condo path worked for enough people that it feels like a law. Christopher Tan, CEO of Provident, Singapore's fee-only wealth advisory firm, said this year, "Turning a historical success into a timeless rule is the mistake that costs the most." The actual numbers for Priya today: a 2-bedroom condo in the outside central region, 1.2 million. ABSD as a second property before selling the HDB, $240,000 upfront. Her current HDB mortgage, $1,400 a month. The condo mortgage after a large down payment, $3,200 to $3,600. The monthly gap, $2,000 more, for a unit smaller than her current flat. In 4 years, her HDB is paid off. $1,400 a month, formally to the bank, becomes investable. Zero ABSD, zero condo management fees at $300 to $500 a month. Zero sinking fund. The condo buys a pool she uses twice a month, and the feeling of having done what everyone around her has done. Priya's action tonight. 1 spreadsheet, 2 columns. Column A, HDB paid off at 48. Freed mortgage invested at 5% for 12 years to 60. Column B, condo bought at 44. New 30-year mortgage, no investable cash for 15 years. The numbers do not need commentary. They speak for themselves. James is 52, Toa Payoh. Tuesday morning, Kopi C, no alarm set. Portfolio, 580,000 Singapore dollars across CICT, SLAR, DBS, Parkway Life. Annual distributions, 31,000. $2,583 every month whether he leaves the flat or not. He started at 41 with one decision. He looked at his monthly bank statement and asked a question he had never asked before. Which of these payments belong to where I am now, and which belong to where I was at 32? The car went first. Children had finished school. The car was for school runs and Saturday enrichment that no longer existed. Then the oversized whole life policy at 44. Then the tuition when his son entered JC in the top performance band. Each time he stopped a payment, he did not spend a saving. He moved it into a regular savings plan on FSM1 that cleared on the 2nd of every month before anything else. At 41, he was starting from zero. He did not have $580,000. He had the question and then the habit. The average household in Singapore aged 40 to 44 spends $6,039 a month. By 65, $2,349. The gap between those two numbers is not lifestyle. It is the cost of things that belong to an earlier stage of life and kept billing long after that stage ended. James understood this at 41. That is the only difference between his Tuesday and the Tuesday of someone his age who still needs to be somewhere by 9. His action at 41, tonight available to you. Open FSM1. Set up a $200 RSP into CLAR. Not when the car is sold. Not when the policy lapses. Tonight. The habit starts before the money does. Ahmad is still on the CTE. 26 minutes now. He knows what he is doing this evening. MRT from Bishan to his office. 34 minutes, direct. Grab 3 times a month, $45. His $2,318 replaced by $135. $2,183 freed every month. Not a sacrifice. A decision about which version of 60 he is building toward. The distance between arriving at 60 asset-rich and cash-constrained, a paid-off condo, no retirement savings, still needing to be somewhere by 9, and arriving at 60 with options is almost never income. It is almost always a series of payments that felt necessary because they had always been there. Chosen once at 32 and never questioned again. 7 of them. Most still clearing automatically in your account right now. Which one are you still paying for? Put it in the comments. I will tell you exactly what stopping it is worth at your age at Singapore's current yields. If this changed how you see your monthly statement, subscribe. Next, the CPF decision most Singaporeans in their 40s delay by 3 years, and what those 3 years actually cost.